And Gilbert is getting very, very close. He might be getting the lead very shortly. Up the inside, we know he likes his position. He's done it before already, and he goes to the front. Jay doesn't even defend that one, so Gilbert takes the race lead. And could that be the championship decided?
Looking for 20. Oh, gets out of his contact! And Remy Gilbert has been sent by Giles Genet off into the gravel, and that will swing the championship wide open. A costly mistake from the Frenchman. Not how you want to win it, though. Let's see if it, maybe there was connection or something in there. We'll give Giles Genet something in that. No, he just completely misses his breaking point. Straight into the rear end of Remy Gilbert. A slam dunk penalty, which means that Genet definitely ain't winning this race.
JD here, and as you can see, we are back on iRacing, and today's race was a very, very intense one. Something I enjoyed thoroughly, and hopefully you do as well. Please let me know if you did, if you liked the video, but sit back, relax, and yeah, this is quite an intense race, one of the most intense I've had for quite a while. But you can see the footage at the start of this video. A driver called Giles Genet is a British F4 esports driver, and you can see he's actually in my lobby. And this race I did a couple weeks ago, and this was actually before that footage you saw at the beginning of the video itself. So yeah, he is actually an esports driver in iRacing, unknown to me. And I knew he was going to be quick, because if you're a 4.k iRacing, I think anything really above 3.5 to 4k, you're going to be pretty handy in pace, because you actually have to have good results if you were getting to that level of iRating. So I knew he was going to be pretty quick. I didn't know how quick he was going to be, but this is my qualifying lap. This is the fastest lap that I did. My other lap wasn't. I think I invalidated it or made a couple of mistakes. This is at Alton Park, the full circuit in the Formula V's, which is very, very fun. I definitely recommend it. You get access to this car when you first sign up to iRacing in the rookies, and the only issue with this, as great as it is, it does give you a little bit of chaotic racing, because the slipstream, unlike F125, is super OP in this car. If you're within, I think, 7 to 8 tenths, you get a ridiculous slipstream, so it's really hard to pull away from people, because it's quite a slow car as well, but very fun to drive, very fun to race. And yeah, I was just looking to do these kind of races just to get my safety rating up, to get my I rating up. However, when you're doing races in D class and in the rookies, you do get people who don't really care so much about the I rating, or especially the safety rating. They don't really want to progress through the licenses, unlock other cars. So you might get a few drivers who are, I would say, a little bit more on the dirty side. And you will see in this race, we do have quite a lot of aggressive maneuvers going on, but this lap here wasn't an incredible lap. I was really enjoying myself driving around this track. It's been a long time. I used to drive this track on Tocker Race Driver back in the day, so I actually know it very well. And come across the line, what's that going to be? 58.4, which is not too bad, but you can see that put me on pole by 0.6 of a second. And you would think you're going to just run away with the win here. But again, the slipstream is just so powerful. Unless you're like a second a lap faster than someone, it's almost impossible to escape. But as these lights go out, we get a really bad start. A really, really poor start. So not ideal at all. This Giles Genet, he didn't qualify a lot. The fast drivers in iRacing, they tend not to qualify, because if you get involved in the mid-pack and stuff, you get involved in a lot of instances, and I think they just enjoy coming through the pack as well. Kind of like what I used to do on F1 in open lobbies, just start at the back sometimes. So, but you will see he is very, very fast in this. And again, I had no idea who he was. I believe he's a French driver, British F4 esports driver, and is also a kart racer as well, a very successful one. So, and you can already see he's up into 4th place, so making quite a lot of inroads already. And all I'm trying to do in this race is to get as many I rating points as I can to increase my safety rating, because I want to get into the A class license, and yeah, just have a clean race and try and win, but not the cost of totaling my car, because I think that's something I've learned quite a lot through iRacing recently, and you will see in the upcoming videos. I tended to take I don't know, too many risks and give people too much the benefit of the doubt, thinking they're going to try and do some clean racing or side by side. But if you total your car, you're going to lose so much iRating, it's crazy. But you can see that Charles Genet is already up into P3. We're going out wide here, so that is already a incident point. You can see he's up into P2 now, so on the second lap he's already up into P2 very, very fast. And you're about to see here now, from here to the end of the race, this was a very, very intense battle, and I was quite frustrated at times, but looking back at it, I think it was about on the limit. So you can see he gets a really good run going to here, and in my mind, I'm just going to let him go. I know he's probably the fastest driver in this field, so my goal is just for us two to try and escape the slipstream or P3. We've got this David Babson, who seems to be a Formula V veteran. I've seen him in videos from like 5-6 years ago in these cars. So he's had a lot of experience, but yeah, Genet gets a really, really poor chicane, and throughout this race, he seemed to struggle actually a little bit with that chicane. He always seemed to get a poor exit. So ideally, he stays behind me here, but he decides to go around the outside, gets to move the inside, and really good move from him. But if I wasn't willing to let that happen, we probably both would have crashed out then, because in these cars, the contact model, if your wheels get tangled together, you're going to be doing a barrel roll very, very quickly. So it really requires the other driver to concede quite a bit in these cars, and I could tell straight off the bat that he's going to be a driver who is not going to concede and is going to go every single gap. And that's something that actually surprised me of iRacing quite a bit recently. Again, I'll be uploading quite a few videos from now in like the F3, F4, Formula Ford, all those cool kind of cars. I thought people in iRacing would be a little bit more sensible, especially like even the higher iRating drivers. I don't know if they expect you to be able to go side by side a lot more easily, but a lot of iRacing drivers seem to just go for any gap. That's something I'm discovering. So not being dirty, but they're just, I would say, not using the racing IQ quite a bit. Because for me there, if I was him, I would have wanted for us to try and escape the P3 and pull away. But actually, probably from his perspective, he probably doesn't care. He probably just wants to race and just have a good fun race here, because obviously he's an esports driver driving a Formula V. I don't think he's doing it, taking it super, super serious, so I think he doesn't really care. But going to here, he is very, very confident on the brakes. So yeah, clearly a lot more confident than me in this car. We're trying to get a good exit coming through into here now, and yeah, again, I'm trying not to let him defend. I'm trying to avoid him defending. But you can see again, he gets a pretty poor exit off this chicane. David Babson behind, but I know he's a pretty clean driver. I've had quite a few races with him now, so I know he's not going to be going for anything drastic or anything like that. And you can see going super defensive, so I don't know if he's expected me to dive down the inside there. I'm not confident enough to be doing that, and no, I'm on the verge of becoming a 3K iRacing driver. I don't want to be running the risk. Like, for me, you can see the drivers here, like the drivers ahead of me and the two behind, they're all higher than me on the iRating. So even if I finish 4th or even 5th, I'd probably be gaining iRating. So I don't really need to be taking many risks. I want to win the race, of course, but I've learned through this past couple of weeks in iRacing where I have taken some risks just to try and get some 10 extra iRating points, and then end up crashing out, having a collision with someone. Sometimes you've got to know when to be committed, but also when to be a little bit disciplined as well at the same time. But you can see this guy up ahead, he's a lap down, so I think he had a bit of an incident. So I'm trying to get ahead of Genet here to then use the slipstream of this lap car to hopefully put a car between us, and then that might be an opportunity for me to break away from this field. But Genet, again, you see, he's going to go down the inside, so this is a good example. So here, if I try to go side by side, it's very, very likely, mainly down to me, because I'm not used to this game at the moment, that we probably would have collided and both our races would have over. So I just decided to concede, but the slipstream, again, you can see how powerful it is. So I go straight back past him, going into here. I'm trying to put him off going down the inside into this one, but he just steams down the inside. And you can see that we picked up an instant point, but then I get a nice switch back on him. So this is an opportunity again, because I know he's not particularly great coming off the exit of this chicane. So we're coming into chicane now. We're going to try and get a really good launch. You see, he gets a pretty poor run once again, and this is perfect for me. The only issue is in iRacing, and someone pointed this out in the comments of one of my recent videos, the lapped cars, even though he's getting blue flag, he's not actually obligated to move out of the way, which is quite annoying. So he's just going to stay ahead because he wants to try and, I imagine, just be involved within this battle here. But in iRacing, they don't actually punish drivers, it seems, for blue flags. So I'm going to try and use him to get a bit of slipstream and potentially maybe even put a car between myself and Sinead, because if I could break that 1 second, I feel like I have enough pace. And then with Babson right behind Sinead with the slipstream, they'll be battling a little bit too much. Because see, he gets a really good exit from behind. So I'm going for a slipstream. So I'm trying to park my car nearest the middle, so just deter him from going the outside and the inside. That causes him all to rise around the back of me, and then we get a really good run. So this is absolutely perfect for us. This is exactly what we need here. But again, Janae is in my slipstream. It looks like he's quite far behind in the mirror above, but he's actually getting a very good slipstream from that. You have to be probably like 7 to 8 tenths further ahead, and you can see he's already back up in the slipstream. So that was an opportunity. Maybe should have moved to the right to give Babson a little bit of slipstream, but you can see he is just very, very confident through these corners. So I would say he's probably a good half a second more faster than me if he did the qualifying. No doubt about that, because he is a 4.8 KO rating as well, and you can see he's going to go for this move I expected. So yeah, I was trying to deter him a little bit, park it, make it pretty tight, but he still goes to the inside, actually making contact. So that was so close to us being crashed out of the race. And you can see even in the British Esports thing, which is why I put the clip at the beginning, he's a very fast driver. No, one of the fastest drivers on this game when it comes to esports, so especially in the F4 category. But you could also see he is very aggressive in that, and he's very aggressive in this as well, because I don't think it shows it, but I think his license is like a D or C license. So either he's choosing not to go through the rankings, or just his safety rating is that bad that he's just not doing it. He doesn't really care about the safety rating, he just cares about the I rating. So yeah, that suggests that he doesn't really mind getting his elbows out and getting a few instant points. So yeah, driving here, I knew that he was probably going to be picking up quite a bit of a fight, and the move has to be a very, very decisive move. But I was just thinking, where do I overtake him? Because the slipstream is just so powerful. But yeah, you will see at the end of this video, looking back at this race, I'll give my opinion on what I maybe should have done in the end. But you can see we're coming on to the last lap now, and yeah, because of this argy-bargy, I really, really wanted to beat him in this race, especially because of his I rating as well. I'd be gaining so much, but also just out of pride at this point, I just really wanted to beat him badly. So I'm putting out the slipstream here because I don't want to catch him too quickly. Ideally, I want a little bit of a gap where I have a bit of a run on him, and that will give me a really good slipstream. But if you get too close, so you can see in the exit of this corner, yeah, he makes a bit of a mistake, and we actually bog down. And right here now, we are not getting any run. We're not getting any momentum, so that is not ideal. But the good thing is we don't actually need to be ahead. We don't really, we don't have to be ahead here because the slipstream is just so powerful. I know he's going to be very, very good on the brakes here, so I'm not going to outbrake him. So that's fine. You can just see how late he brakes. That's just insane how late he brakes through here. But I know if the exit of this chicane, this is, I would say, his weakness on this track as well. So we're just focusing on getting a really good exit. Coming up here, 16, taking it nice and easy. And you can see again, he makes a very, very poor exit. And I was just hoping the car behind could potentially follow me through. I'm putting out the slipstream again because I don't want to overtake him here. I don't want to be too close. If he was in my position, I know he'd be going around the outside here. We're not going to be doing that at all. And now this is the key. This is the section where ideally I wanted to try and get ahead of him going into this next section, but we actually get a pretty poor run. He gets a really good run going through there, so there's no way we're going to overtake him here. So it's really in the last corner, off the exit of the last corner, so forcing him to defend, trying to get a good run coming through here, but he actually gets a very good run. He actually gets a better exit than me, so yeah, really carrying the speed well there. And going through into here, getting the slipstream, I was trying to dummy it to the left to then pull back down to the inside, but you see he's really squeezing me. That is not enough room for a car going down through there. We get a not a great exit coming up here, coming up towards the line. We are not going to have enough time, and in the end, we have to settle for P2. And yeah, that was a very intense race in this Formula V. So I think looking back on that, I should have gone to the left and focused on getting a really good exit to the line, because I think with enough momentum slipstream, we could have actually pipped him to the line. But you will see this is on board of him, so this is just how ballsy he is going through into here. So you see he gets a really good run. We're trying to squeeze him. We leave just enough of a gap, and he just barges his way through. Very easily could have taken us both out. The contact model of these cars is very, very sensitive. You can see again, yeah, that could have easily been a barrel roll between us. But if we look at the race results now, if we go onto his profile and we look at his stats, you can see, look how many laps he's done. He has done quite a bit of laps. So he is obviously very, very experienced. He's obviously a very, very fast driver as well. So GG to him. If we compare to my stats, you see we are still very, very early into our iRacing journey. But I really hope you enjoyed that. You can see we're so close to 3K iRacing now. Next video will be when I turn into 3K. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you very, very soon. Peace.